Hi all, welcome to Pentab Academy. I'm Nirupama and I'll be teaching physics. In this lecture, I'll be explaining about the phenomenon electromagnetic induction. Consider this circuit diagram. Here we have a coil of wire. This coil is nothing but a conductor. This is a conductor that can allow the passage of electricity through it. And this is a galvanometer. And this thing, this arrow, it refers to the needle of the galvanometer. So whenever there is a deflection or when this needle happens to move, we can say that there is current flowing through this circuit. Okay. Now, this circuit diagram, in this circuit diagram or this circuit, it is devoid of any current. That means there's no current flowing through this circuit. This is just a conductor that can allow the flow of current through it. So what did Faraday do? Faraday, he brought a magnet closer to this circuit. So let's say he brought a magnet and placed it here. Okay. So as I said earlier, this magnet has a north pole and south pole, and of course, being a magnet, it does have what? Magnetic lines of force. So let's say this is the magnetic lines of force. So let's just forget about the direction or arrow marks or anything that can confuse you. For the time being, let's just know that it's a magnet and it has got magnetic lines of force around it. Now these magnetic lines of force, what did they do? They kind of interacted with this coil. These magnetic lines of force, they interacted with this coil. When it was brought closer to this coil, these magnetic lines of force, it got a connection with this coil. I mean, it just moved through this coil or it just touched the coil. There are many words to define this. In most of the textbooks, it will be given that the magnetic lines of force happen to cut the coil. Okay, so when this kind of interaction happens, when the magnetic lines of force happen to cut the coil or happen to touch the coil, what will happen? Current will start flowing through the coil. Okay, so what did Faraday do? When Faraday brought this piece of magnet closer to the coil, he found deflection in this galvanometer needle, or he found deflection in the galvanometer. So what did he learn? What did he get to know? He got to know that when a piece of magnet was brought closer to a piece of conductor, current started to flow through it. So this is known as electromagnetic induction. When a piece of magnet was brought closer to the conductor, or when the magnetic lines of force interacted with the conductor, electricity started flowing through the conductor. Or in other words, and what will happen when electricity will flow through the conductor? When electricity flows through the conductor, definitely there will be voltage across the conductor. And that voltage, in other words, is known as EMF, an electromotive force. EMF. So what did Faraday discover? Faraday discovered that when the magnetic lines of force interacted with the conductor, an EMF was induced. So there came into existence electromagnetic induction. What came into existence? Electromagnetic induction. So in electromagnetic induction, what is happening? An EMF is being induced by what? By the magnetic field lines of a magnet interacting with a conductor. When the magnetic field lines interact with a conductor, an EMF is induced across the conductor. And this phenomenon is known as electromagnetic induction.